So for the rosters that are going to be kicking off, once again, it's going to be Kachow, Carpins, and Striker for the Rhinos. And on the Sockeye side, it's going to be Claybo, Kopex, and Lasagna Lou. So just looking at pretty much how the stats are going for these guys, it's going to be a tough matchup for pretty much both teams, and it's going to be a close game. So personally, on my end, I would be saying that the Sockeyes are probably going to take this match, but it's going to be a close one, and hopefully I don't know if I would say game 5, but personally, I give the edge more to the Sockeyes.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest with you, Gala. Before the game starts, I've been persuaded by this fantastic man named Dead Medic. His voice was just so beautiful, and his points were so great. I do have to go back to a 3-1. I don't think Zika's getting it bad either.
And it looks like we do have someone in as well. It looks like one of the players for the Sockeyes, Greed. Greed is also came in for the match. So it looks like they're going to be testing him out for game number 1 here in this matchup as we kick off game number 1 between the Sockeyes and the Rhinos. A divisional matchup. The winner of this would pretty much have an edge once it comes to playoff time if both of these teams are pretty much still with a similar record by the end of the season. Carpins able to get a pass across and receive from the Striker, but Greed gets that cleared away. Chow taking his time, tries to get a 50 on Greed, and he does, up in the air. Striker will get that cleared. Kopex tries to get it away from Striker, and he does, but they collided with each other and thrown each other both into Narnia. Kachow gets it across with a pass to Carpins. What a beautiful pass from Kachow to kick off here in game number 1. The Rhinos taking the lead.
That was a beauty. Not a tactical whiff, but a tactical not shot on target, which I think is what he was going for there. Ends up just handing the ball across to his teammate who's in a perfect position. Kind of the ideal scenario, actually. Not anything that could have come out of that.
It looks like another quick opportunity here. A 50 with one player cheating up on the end of the Sockeyes, but it looks like it was saved away. Now Striker with the opportunity gets a bounce shot, but Greed up in the air already to get that blocked away. Carpins throws it down. Kopex and Claybo up, but Claybo will get the clear. Kachow unable to get a read, but he gets it thrown down to Carpins. Carpins able to get it again, getting it away from Kopex. Claybo shadowing his play, but Greed will take it. Greed unable to get a perfect touch up, but he gets up. We end it to Kopex, who gets a 50 on Striker. Now Carpins with the opportunity to take the shot on net, but Claybo will get the save. Now it's pretty much an even bout already. I mean, both teams, from what I've seen so far, just both of them getting their shots on net, but just one player already in the back for both ends. The rotations are pretty much on point for both these teams.
I definitely have to agree, and that might actually be why Claybo has been starting over the other player here, right? Yet to name, it would be Greed, yeah. Oh, Kopex is going to even it up, though.
Kopex with an assist from Greed on the side, while Striker unable to get a perfect touch, and it bounces off for Kopex to get a nice shot on that. Kachow going for boost, but unable to get back quick enough. I don't know whether or not the boost spawned for him, but it ends up with the Rhinos able to tie this, or excuse me, the Sockeyes able to tie this game back up. Now Kopex looking to try to see if he can give his team the lead. Oh my, a beautiful opportunity. But Greed is up, and he gets the read from the heavens. Greed will give the Sockeyes the lead.
Kopex being the opposite of Greedy there by actually leaving that ball first. Teammate Greed going up for that one, you could say. Am I right? Yeah, no? Okay. Anyways, we are not seeing what we saw in this game earlier in the stream. The single A matchup, but it was just kind of one goal for this team, one goal for the other team. You know, this series is definitely still close, or this game rather, but it's the momentum here that's been shifted completely to the Sockeyes, coming off a 2-goal in a row section of this game.
Get ready to click a little bit over, 15 seconds over until halftime. Claybo able to get that, but unable to get it away from Kachow, who gets the demo, and it leaves Striker with an opportunity on net. And Carpins will get the rebound, but it's off the side post, and Greed will get it away from Kachow, who was coming up to push. And Claybo will be able to get this read, unable to get it by Striker, and Striker coming up clutch with some plays right now. You know, taking a look at some stats, you know, it might not look like the stats are going well for both of these teams, but they're definitely clicking in this game.
Definitely, and Striker ironically being the one to pass that ball across to Kachow off of 50. Kachow, I have to say, really impressed with his positioning so far in this game. You know, we are only 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, but he's kind of in the exact place that his team needs him to be, whether that's on defense or offense or in the midfield. He's receiving the ball very well in his first touches, you know, very good overall.
Ooh, nice setup there from Carpets to Kachow. and it was a rebound that left it for Striker, unable to post it on net. But what I've seen so far from these Rhinos is the ability to pretty much set up a play to, you know, eventually end up going into the Sockeyes' goal. Just the ability to throw it off the back wall multiple times, looking across, and ends up getting some plays where there's some 50s that's fine, you know, their own teammates, as we've seen Carpins getting a pass across to Kachow to kick off the first goal of the game. And it's pretty much just benefited them this entire time.
Yeah, they are more team-orientated, I'd say, than the Sockeyes, who are really kind of going for things on their own, which isn't necessarily a negative thing for Sockeyes. It's more of a play style thing, and they might want to adjust that, especially for a team that's so, again, chemistry-orientated, as the Rhinos are currently.
As we see right here, another setup. Carpet's getting it across. Kachow unable to get it on net as he hits the post. And a pass across from Greed to Kopex, but unable to pot it on net. But an opportunity. Claybo, where did you come from?
I'm asking the same question, actually. The Fennec just kind of flies into the air, and it's a really solid touch, beating two defenders out there. Maybe a little miscommunication on defense, but regardless, neither of them got to the ball in time, and the Claybo's just putting power on that ball right into the net.
Absolute banger on net that wasn't able to be saved. You know, a good amount of it. Striker got a good chunk of it, but just not enough as it reaches onto the top corner. And right now, as we see the Sockeyes still holding on to a lead against... wow, excuse me. I don't know where my brain was going. But the Sockeyes finally taking a lead in this game. As we've seen some of their plays, you know, solo-oriented plays, but it's just been working out. As you've seen, like, how some of these players are able to get beautiful shot opportunities on net compared to, you know, as we've seen most of the plays coming in from the Rhinos, you know, the team chemistry versus, you know, solo player ability. I don't know which is going to benefit which one of these teams in the long run, but for right now, it is benefiting more for the Sockeyes.
Definitely, and I think the Sockeyes being so individually talented right now speaks to how they plan to things in the long run, because the chemistry is going to get stronger and stronger as things move on in the season. This is only the third game after all. So the fact that they're individually skilled right now means that the chemistry is just going to come in later and later, which is fine. You know, they're going to do good later in the season.
The Sockeyes able to hold off and stave off the pressure from the Rhinos. It looked like Kachow had an opportunity to try to get it on net, but wasn't able to make contact. And if he did, that would have tied the game up most likely. But the Sockeyes, once again, holding off and staving off the Rhinos' pressure to finish off and secure the victory here in game number one. You know, looking a little bit at the stats so far, Kachow coming in with the 5 shots, the most out of anybody in the lobby, pretty much more than this entire Sockeyes combined. But that doesn't matter. As you look at all the Sockeye stats, they have 100% shooting. They have found where to take the shots, and it's always benefited them. Is Greed, 1 goal, 1 shot. Claybo, 1 goal, 1 shot, and so is Kopex. And it's just, you look at the Rhinos, they've been looking to try to find more, you know, they've been passing across to each other and looking for each other. As you've seen a couple shots off the back wall, and sometimes if that's close enough to the net, it'll increase your shot, like the amount of shots you've taken in this game. But you just look at the Sockeyes, and it's just that stat right there just blows my mind.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another stat to point out would be the Rhinos getting 3 demos. I definitely don't think that those demos came in a crucial place. Otherwise, you know, I would have seen them a little more clearer from a caster's point of view. I think they've kind of been coming in, like, rotating into defense, maybe like a second or third man, whereas those demos will need to be prioritized in the offensive half, like a third man defender, leaving the goal wide open. It's just kind of like readjusting your play style and stuff like that to make those demos more beneficial, because you are getting at least 3 per game.
As we get ready to kick off for game number 2 here, the Sockeyes taking the 1-0 lead in the series, and it looks like they're not changing anything. As you see, it looks like Lasagna Lou might be sitting out for game number 2. And I wouldn't honestly blame the Sockeyes for that. Lasagna Lou being a crucial piece for the Sockeyes roster, but they're just sticking with what fit for game number 1 into game number 2.
Yeah, definitely. The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this certainly is not broke after the 3-2 win.
And nothing's definitely breaking right now for the Pogfish squad. As we see Claybo able to get away from the Striker, who makes a little change. I guess that's his main car. From what I've seen in the amount of times I've played with the Striker, he's always been a Dominus main, as you can see right there. Oh, a close one. That would have been a beautiful 50 and a dunk on Greed, but Greed able to get enough of the contact with the ball, and Striker was a little too high on that. Striker being the one man on defense gets it away from Claybo. Now once again, looking to get it across to Kachow, who gets a beautiful shot on net, and Greed gets the equivalent. Beautiful save. Carpins throws it up on the end. Kachow, he's there, unable to get it. It hits off all 3 posts, but Carpins able to get it back. And the Rhinos able to get the lead finally after 1 minute and 6 seconds.
The Rhinos so selfless with their offensive pressure that you need to hit 3 posts before you can score if you are the Rhinos, it seems. I mean, that shot could have gone in, but either way, it took off the defense enough so that the open net was able to be secured. Which at the end of the day, again, as I spoke about on the desk, you know, Skirky's ready yet again. It's just that pressure. Don't sigh, I heard that. It's just that pressure that's going to come from the Rhinos. It's going to break down that Sockeyes defense.
Anyway, I digress. But Claybo able to try to get that ball, keep it away from his defensive end, but it was 50'd on by Striker, and a little bit of miscommunication between Greed and Kopex, and it looks like they're leaving them awkward, and Carpins is able to get the 2nd goal of the game, and he's able to pot it bottom right.
Wow, once again, it's just that pressure that I was talking about earlier from the Rhinos to get them up 2-0 in this game. You know, Carpins.
I hate how I could tell with the change of your voice. You try to prove that you're right, just with that little bit higher end squeak that you got of your voice, boy.
You know what? I think I got my point across.
I know you're getting your point across, and it's kind of agitating, but it's working out, Skirky. I'll admit it, it's working out for you. Speaking of working out, Striker able to show pretty much anybody on the Sockeyes right now that his play is able to find his teammates.
Wow, for the 3rd time in a row. I'm sorry. Stevie, I just want to acknowledge you in chat here. You posted earlier that Kopek's gonna flex. Kopek's gonna flex was your exact wording. And Kopex has kind of been sitting back on defense here, which at least from me looking at his stats, is kind of an unusual thing. When you added Trots in chat, you know, need a pep talk. Maybe it's not a pep talk they need, but you know, Lasagna Lou coming in from the bench for game 3 here might be exactly what they need.
All I just gotta say is sheesh! Perfect timing on that sheesh as Striker comes across and gets the playmaker, or excuse me, Kachow gets the playmaker, and Striker will get his 1st goal of the game.
Wow, Gala, look at that continued offensive pressure from the Rhinos to secure yet another almost open net.
Why are you targeting me? You're targeting me more than the Sockeyes have been able to find this entire net for this game.
Sheesh.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's a little bit of a sheesh, I won't lie. Claybo unable to get it across. Kopex coming in, but Kopex unable to get enough of it, and Carpin's looking to try to find the hat trick. He's able to get enough power on it for it to hit the crossbar. Striker getting the pressure. Kopex gets it away. Throws it down into the Rhinos end. Claybo pops it up. Greed unable to get it by Carpins. There's no shot yet. As we see right now, Kopex throws it up above the net. Creed will get a nice read on that, but Kachow will get the clear. Claybo, he's up in the air. Wow, flying across the map pretty much right there to get that 50. And if Kopex had a little bit more speed on that, he would have gotten it right by Carpins. Carpins and Kopex, that's just a little bit of a tongue twister for me. But I'm doing it. We're working with it. Claybo unable to get it to Kopex, and an open net that was off the crossbar for Kachow. Close one. A beautiful thread of the needle right there by his teammate, but unable to pot it in to pretty much secure the 5-0 lead.
What?
What?
5-0 lead? I feel like I missed something here. Anyways.
Yeah, there would have been the 5th goal for the Rhinos, Skirky.
I'm sorry, I was blinking, I zoned out. You caught me, Gala. Well played.
Oh, speaking of well played, right there, Kopex able to get enough of that on net and right over Carpins, who was the last one back. And the Sockeyes finally get on the board.
You know, I can't be mad at the Rhinos for pushing up there. You are up 4 goals, at least before that goal was scored. There's nothing wrong with, you know, leaving that net up a little bit open at least. Because, you know, yeah, really nothing to lose with 1 minute left and, you know, 3 goals to concede if you want to go into overtime at this point.
Speaking looking at trying to get it to overtime. Greed wants to be able to get this win right here. Once again, Greed gets that away. But Chow able to get enough of it. Claybo gets a nice pop over Carpins, but unable to get it by Carpins. But Kopech still keeping the pressure. Greed, he's up, able to get the read, and he gets the goal. What a pass across from Kopech to Greed, who finds the aerial goal.
This is the first goal that we've seen from the Sockeyes that is not solo-orientated. If this is the sign for them to shift that over and be more team-oriented, pass across as that ball was so beautifully played, it's definitely a sign, and it should be read, hopefully in very bold italic letters, for the Sockeyes heading into Game 3.
30 seconds left to go here in game number 2. We'll see whether or not there's still enough energy. That ended up not going the way that the Sockeyes were looking for. 5-2 win, and it looks like to be the exclamation point for this match.
That was not the team play I was talking about, the Sockeyes, for the record. Not what I meant. You got to do that on the other side of the field.
Anywho, 24 seconds left, 5-2 lead, a 3-goal lead right now in a dominating fashion for this entire game for the Rhinos. Pretty much looking to just equalize this series, in which they're most likely going to do. Just the entire storyline is changing. As you've seen the solo-orientated plays from the Sockeyes from the last match, and the Kachow looking to pop more stats with an MVP caliber performance for game number 2 against the hat trick, and against the playmaker as well from earlier on in the game. 6-2 with 1 second to go, and the Rhinos able to tie the series back up.
He really did not want to let that ball drop. He's doomed across the field to get that in, and the clock hits 0.
That was a change in pace compared to what we saw last game. It looks like right now the team plays of the Rhinos has just benefited more for this match. The Sockeyes, as they were able to do so a little bit with 30 seconds left, if I recall, from the Greed all the way across to Kopech to Greed. They need to do that more. As we've seen some of them, they try to continue going on with those solo plays, but the Rhinos have just been there, just staggering them this entire game, just creating a stampede. I'll say it. Creating the stampede for this entire match.
Okay.
As you see, solid. Huh?
You're not that guy, pal. You're just not.
Oh my God, don't hit me with that meme. Don't hit me with that meme. Don't hit me with that meme, man. Come on, just let me shine.
I don't know.
But as we see, as we get ready to go in, just what needs to change for the Sockeyes? I think I've probably already said it. I don't know whether or not they're going to bring in Lasagna Lou, as I feel like that it would probably benefit them for a little change in pace. But what needs to change for the Sockeyes in order to just continue, just to hopefully take the series?
I mean, considering how fast Lasagna Lou read it up for that game, they're definitely going to jump into this one, yeah. But on top of that, Gala, referencing what some smart, probably attractive man said earlier, you can't let the Rhinos have that consistent offensive pressure, You got to shut it down, whether that's with like a huge stuff 50 at the midfield, even if it's on the goal line, if it goes out, sure. Or just those long clears, you just cannot let the Rhinos have that presence in the midfield.
I got confused when you first started off that sentence. I'm really wondering who you were talking about. I really hope you weren't talking about yourself. But once again, I digress. Let's get into game number 3 as I look to see a shot that was thrown up a little bit above the net, and Carpet's coming off the wall for that to block off Greed, but not enough speed to block off Lasagna Lou. Lasagna Lou came into the match readied up really quick, and he's just been flying already.
Yeah, it came out the oven, you could say, actually.
Well, let's see whether or not Lasagna Lou able to bring some energy to the Pogfish squad. Tries to get it above Kachow, and he gets it above Striker, but Carpins, he's there. And Carpins looking to see if he can pull off a double tap, and he can! Wow, what a shot by Carpins!
Yeah, we mentioned on the desk, Carpins, being the lowest MMR player on the roster, had 1.5 goals per game average, and that's going to go up after this series, I want to say. I think he had at least 2 last game. He's probably getting another few, I'd say, this game. That's not a super bold of a statement from me. He's just like putting the ball away, and his mechanics are definitely one of the better ones. I'm not a single anymore, independent.
Yeah, that just from what I've seen, just spectating some of the plays that Carpin has been able to make, His mechanics are on point. I will give him that. They are on point, as we saw right there. A nice little double tap from the midfield all the way in pots at top corner. I'm a AA player myself, and I don't even have the ability to be able to do that.
I don't think that's a double A problem, Yellow. I think it's just a you problem.
Yeah, I know it's a me problem. I know. I know that it's a me problem, Skirky. I know. Thank you.
Just making sure.
Carpets looks to get a little bit of a weird touch, but Kachow lucky in front of the net to get that cleared away. Reed able to try to throw that away. Kopex unable to get contact with it. Striker gets that cleared downfield. Lasagna Lou, they're up. They throw it to the sidewall. Kopex gets a nice doink, but it ends up finding Carpins, but Kopex back quick enough to be able to get the shot blocked away. Lasagna Lou pops it up. It looks to be in a little awkward, but he gets the save again. Lasagna Lou, you know, making a little bit of weird plays earlier on, but he's pretty much just saved himself with those 2 clutch saves.
Definitely. I don't know if that was a pun there for you or not, but if it was terrible. Sorry. Lou definitely made a difference, I'd say, especially coming in from game 2 when you went down. I believe it was 5-0 or 4-0 at least before the Sockeyes even scored. And then actually, Sockeyes. What?
I
think it was going in anyway, wasn't it?
If Striker had a little bit of a better touch on that, that wouldn't have gone in. But you know how sometimes Rocket League works, I guess.
I do, yeah.
But anyway, the Sockeyes finally get their first goal in what appear to be 7 minutes of game time. Actually, what am I saying? 7 minutes of game time. They had 2 goals last game. What am I talking about?
That is true.
That is true. Well, I would say like a few minutes. Yeah. But Lasagna Lou coming in pretty much just changing the pace for his entire team right now. And giving way too much credit. What a touch! Hello? I think Striker was like, yeah, let me get a nice little touch. This time on the opposite net.
That was a fantastic strike there from Striker, I do have to say. And I mean, it would have been impressive if he set that up for himself, but that wasn't even the case. His teammate kind of double committed with him there and ended up getting the entirety of that ball, and he just so happened to fall on it, which is, first of all, super impressive, and second of all, like, very rare and, like, lucky to happen. So the fact that he got there and, you know, made possession of it very fast is something to admire.
Yeah, from the times I know Striker, I know Striker can be very mechanical as well. And he showed it off a little bit there, able to get enough speed on it to get that nice little bar down shot. He's just pretty much showing, hey, Carpins isn't the only mechanical player on this team. What you talking about? Chow able to get that shot blocked away from Lasagna Lou. Now it's Greed. Tries to throw it upfield, but Carpins up and able to clear it downfield. Kopex tries to get a little bit of a pinch downfield off the sidewall, but unable to throw it away from his side of the field and throws it back towards the front of, almost near the front of his net. Now Lasagna Lou coming in quick. Fakes out one by the looks of it. Actually, not fake. Tactical whip. Tactical whip. You got me saying that now, Skirky. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, Scala, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that wasn't a tactical miss right there. Kachow able to beat. I believe that was Kopex who was up on the wall, or up in the air. Just pots it down. And the Rhinos again, taking this 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Kopex just a little bit on the other side of the ball there, near post. Ended up missing the ball anyway, but regardless, the beat was there. And the own goal is also here. Carpins saying thank you for that and patting his stats and his back.
You know, he's deja vu from last game, I would say. A little bit of awkward touch. You know, last game we saw a little bit of a own goal right there by Greed, and once again we see it again. Unlucky. As I do say, I mean, mostly Rumble is the one that's related to luck, but from what I've seen in this game, it's just a little bit more. The luck has not favored the Sockeyes for this match.
Yeah, definitely. I think that has a lot to do with, like, I want to say their comms / positioning. They're not putting themselves in a bad place, but they're certainly not putting themselves in the ideal place for the scenarios that's been happening, and that's just kind of how Rocket League works at the end of the day.
We all remember, Rocket League is a team game. It's just the luck. I would say luck is also a big factor in this game, and it's just not there. Kopex Able to get a pass, looking to get a pass across. Is Greed quick enough to it? No, Striker is. There's a final few seconds click count here in game number 3, excuse me. It looks like right now the Rhinos will once again pretty much prove that team play. For as we see last game, it looks like it strikes again.
Definitely, and the Rhinos have some momentum here, and you know, we talked about it a little bit in between the last game and this game here. Lasagna Lou coming in was kind of expected. But at this point, for the Sockeyes, I'm not sure what they're going to change up. Will it be a roster change? Will it be a playstyle change? They have a lot of options. I mean, obviously, Claybo's still in this game. When he's ready up, he's ready to go. Whether that's going to be to sit on the bench next game for the second time in a row, or to play in the field with somebody, it's yet to be seen. Just speaking from a personal standpoint, definitely got to put your midfield presence together again, as once again the Rhinos have that continued offensive pressure that I was talking about. Whatever. You heard the spiel already.
Yeah, I've heard
you need
plenty of times.
Plenty of times. You just got to shut it down. You need to send one player out there, even if it's just like to full commit to a ball. The Rhinos aren't going to hold on to possession if you're just dabbing at them right away. I think Lasagna Lou is probably the most ideal person to do that. Just jump at it. Literally challenge it immediately, and they'll lose possession. Just get a large clear out, and you'll have a breakaway.
Yeah, and I've seen the Sockeyes a couple of times this match have just let the Rhinos just take time with possession and looking for passes. If you already have a player up to cut off those opportunities, then it would work. And as we see in this game, Claybo coming on in and subbing out Kopex. We'll see whether or not that's going to work out for them.
This is a weird substitution. I have to butt in. That was the least likely substitution I'd think out of any of them. I think Kopex played a really fantastic 2 games, if you'd agree with me there. 3 games, rather.
Yep. Yeah, but once again, it's just all the decision of the entire team, and we'll see whether or not it's just going to work out for them. And I don't know. Carpets split in the defense on that shot. You see Greed, he was already up on the top. And Claybo coming in later on. I don't know.
It's Carpins. That's all you need to know. It's just Carpins.
It's just Carpins pretty much this entire match.
I mean, he's definitely the MVP of the entire series already, whether or not they win or lose at this point. I think they're definitely going to win, considering how this game's already been going. Opportunity here. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of, like, look at him in the air right now. He's on defense, he's on offense, he's everywhere. And that's kind of what you want for a player.
As we see right there, if you saw the camera on him right there, just making solid plays that you would see off the sidewall right there. Defensive plays, some stuff that's equivalent to what you would see in higher ranked matches. Like you see, Carpins is a solid player. He might be down a little bit low in MMR, but his ability to just make these reads and stuff is equivalent to what you would see of a higher ranked player. As we see Greed looking to see if he can get an extra touch. He gets a touch on the side, but Kachao up enough. There's a lot faster than Claybo. Lasagna Lou able to get that cleared away. And I've noticed it too. Whenever the Sockeyes are on defense, they throw the ball away. They need to be able to continue. They just need to slow the play down. Because if you throw the ball away, then it's just giving the opportunity for the Rhinos to set up.
Definitely. And if you do want to throw the ball away, it's got to be far. And they're just not getting that large of a clear currently. That's a fantastic pass there.
Ooh, as you see Striker unable to get a good amount of speed on that one, though. But Carpin's looking pretty much for his entire team. Kachao gets that 50 and throws off 2 Sockeyes by Goomba stomping them. Lasagna Lou and Claybo, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of miscommunication there. Carpins, he's up. What is he looking to do here? Oh my goodness, looking for Striker. Oh, Striker unable to get it on net. He looked like he was turning, but then he turned away and then had to turn back in, which threw off his momentum. If he was able to get there quick enough, that would have been another goal. And speaking of goal, Carpins again.
I mean, I can't say any more than I've already said about Carpins. He's just kind of everywhere. He's doing everything. I'd like to come up with a nice nickname for him, maybe drop a pun here, but I just can't. He's just good. That's all I have to say.
Skarky, do you have Carpens on your fantasy team?
I will be picking him up actually tonight.
I'm not surprised.
Actually, I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. Live on air.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Greed. Oh, nice little dunk there, but Striker, he's up. A ghost touch there. I don't know whether or not that threw off Lasagna Lou. It definitely threw me off. I thought he got that cleared away. Ball goes to the front of the Rhinos' neck. Ka-chow. He's there. Gets a little bit of a... Looks like a reset right there. Striker gets out of Carpens. Carpens gets a 50 on the Rhinos' right half. Ka-chow. Able to get that. Tries to get it cleared. Gets it pinched downfield. Greed throws it up. He's up again. Looks like it was a good play there by him, actually. Would have saved his team. Oh, is this going in? Oh, a close one there. What a demo going across the net right there. I believe that was Ka-chow to get Greed out of the play. And it ended up bouncing off, I believe, once again, Ka-chow to almost put it inside of the Sockeyes net. Carpens, he's up. Oh my goodness, what is this man looking to do? It's throwing me off. Seeing the mechanical ability that Carpens has is just astounding for somebody that's, you know, in independent.
Yeah, definitely. And it might just be a scenario where it's like, I want to shout out Apple Pie here, where it's like maybe you haven't been playing, or last few seasons or so, or you've been kind of chilling in free play and you're kind of getting to that level currently. That just has so much potential to go far in the league or in the game in general. So much untapped potential.
Right, Carpens is probably going to be one of those players that we will see in a few seasons down the line. Most likely going to make a jump up from Indy to most likely to A, AA, or even AAA. Never know. The final 30 seconds here, a 2-0 lead right now for the Rhinos. And Striker able to get that cleared away. Carpens up once again to get that cleared downfield. 30 seconds left. We'll see whether or not the Sockeyes are able to get something on the net. See if they're able to find the back of the net. As we've seen so far this entire match, the Sockeyes just unable to get out of their own defensive zone. As we've seen it time and time. The first time right here, once again. Lasagna, he's going to be up for it. Gets a clear downfield, and it finds Striker. Just the ability of the Rhinos, the playmaking ability of the entire team, able to take down the entire Oregon Sockeyes. And a little bit of an upset right there. The Rhinos taking a 3-1 series win over the Sockeyes.
Yeah, and the Sockeyes coming into this series 2-0, and the Rhinos coming in 1-1. The Rhinos are now in a better position for playoffs than the Sockeyes were, which is kind of weird to think about. This was, again, a divisional matchup. I believe the first of the season for either of these